On this episode of Medicinal Herbs from the Holistic Matters podcast series, we're talking about skin. Host Sara Le Brun-Blashka is joined by naturopathic clinician Angela Hywood to talk about natural approaches to healthy skin for aging, acne, inflammation, and the skin-gut connection. With herbs like gotu kola, stinging nettle, calendula, and more, you'll hear all about how slowing down collagen degradation and managing a healthy inflammatory response can do wonders for the skin.
Well, I am excited again to have Angela Hywood here with me today to discuss skin health. And what woman or man is not excited about protecting their skin and making sure that it's got that glow? And Angela has been on the program before, and she's an expert in naturopathic medicine from Australia and herbs and just this wealth of knowledge. And I'm just so excited to have you back again, Angela.
Thanks for having me. It's always such a pleasure to be with you and to talk natural medicine. Of course, it's my area of passion, so I could talk about it endlessly.
Well, hopefully we can really dive into this topic today of our skin health. Let's start talking about, I'm a woman in her 40s. And so like skin and aging is something that I'm starting to think of as I'm getting closer to that 50 age group, right? That we want to make sure that we stay looking young and that we're really, protecting our skin and thinking what causes things like wrinkles and what we need to do to help slow that down. So maybe we can start there. Maybe you can give us some background on that.
Oh, absolutely. In the day and age where vanity seems to be everywhere around us, I have grave concerns about the way that sort of the beauty industry and the cosmetic industry is going, with how many people have like Botox and fillers and all of these chemicals pumped into their body for pure vanity purposes. Yet you still see them eating unhealthy foods and maybe not on any good supplements. So I really feel that that part of cosmetic industry world kind of getting it wrong. Beautiful skin and luminous skin and good skin integrity, as we all know, comes from within. So I always talk to women about, we need to discover like a personalized skin wellness prescription regime with our natural medicines to support our body from a cellular point of view. And we're really talking about one major protein in the human body, and that's called collagen. So aging is an inevitable process, of course, but it's all about the rate of collagen degradation. So I guess the question is, how can we work to slow this down? So collagen, as I said, is one of the most abundant proteins in the human body and plays like the most critical role in fantastic health of like structural tissue, skin, hair, nails, arteries, veins, all the structural tissue in our body, including bone. So unfortunately, then as we age, our body's ability to like produce and synthesize collagen naturally declines, and this can then lead to obviously what we see as the aging process. But with our skin particularly, this is where we start to see the fine lines creep in, a bit of dullness, and a lack of that sort of elasticity. We know that there's obvious things that we can do to protect our skin and protect our collagen. So, of course, avoid smoking, avoid sun damage. But the most important thing we need to do is just eat really beautifully. Food is our medicine, and food provides us with all the microphytonutrients for collagen protection. So a quick 4 strategies outside of natural medicines is just be really, really sun savvy, stay very, very well hydrated, take care of stress, eat really beautifully, because whole foods are our medicine. And of course, us being so focused on a whole food nutrition approach, we want to be, slow cooking beautiful pieces of beef or slow cooked whole chicken to dissolve that natural collagen and get that in a whole food way as well. But we can certainly start to have a talk about the role of, some nutritionals and herbs for collagen synthesis, if you like, Sarah.
Yeah, I think to your point that whole foods and what you do and making sure that you're sensitive to this, all the outside factors, we know that toxins and everything else are having a negative effect. And so if we really kind of dive, into maybe some specific nutrients and specific herbs that may really help boost that inside out aspect, what would be some of those key factors that you would think of?
Okay, so key nutritional factors I want to start talking about first. An abundance of beautiful whole food vitamin C is one of the core factors we require to build collagen and build beautiful collagen integrity. Zinc is the most abundant mineral required for collagen synthesis. But what people don't take into consideration is you've got to get the ratio right between zinc and copper. A lot of women, particularly, as a backlash of estrogen dominance, tend to be higher in copper and lower in zinc. And when you have this copper dominance, it actually inhibits your zinc uptake at that cellular site. So we need to, and a simple blood test can show us that, but we're really looking at that 1-to-1 ratio of copper to zinc to optimize our zinc uptake. Zinc, vitamin C, and of course, copper zinc balance is really critical for collagen synthesis. Where I think we can really get smart is using botanical collagen boosters. And it's still very questionable. I know there are so many collagen powders on the marketplace, Whole Foods is full of them, right? But it's still questionable as to, how much, absorption and assimilation we get from those micronized collagens. So I always say to women, let's try and just do it through whole foods, real food, and use the wonders of botanical medicine here to boost our natural collagen synthesis. So the herbs that I absolutely love in order to do that, one that I jokingly call Mother Nature's Botox, ladies, is gotu kola, a really ancient Chinese herb. So gotu kola structurally repairs collagen, strengthens collagen integrity, and promotes healing of collagen in the body. So this is incredible for wound healing, for venous integrity, and for overall skin integrity as well. Now, likewise, I'm also in my latter 40s, so things like bone density and collagen integrity are forefront in my mind for my personal health and well-being. And gotu kola is a herb that I choose to take every day to support my collagen synthesis. It's incredible.
I love the gotu kola. I had like a small bike crash, when you get some road rash, and I took some gotu kola and a few other things, but it really did improve that healing process. And I think back to the zinc and copper discussion, right? Years ago, worked more in acute care settings, and we think about that a lot in there, that ratio of zinc to copper. So I think that's something that a lot of people don't always think about. So that's such an important point. So if we do some of those key nutrients plus gotu kola, what else would you add on? Or if somebody feels like there's they need that extra boost?
Absolutely. So there's another gorgeous herb, fondly known as horsetail. And it's often known as the ancient bone healer. Horsetail is the most silica-rich plant, and silica then contributes to all of your collagen structure and integrity. In days gone by, this beautiful herb horsetail has been used to repair broken bones, orally ingested, in order to boost that silica and to repair structural integrity, so of all of our structural tissue, so bone, connective tissue, skin, hair, and nails. Horsetail is something that you can even drink as a herbal tea. But if you would like to take this herb as a tea, Silica takes quite a long time to extract out of it with hot water, so you need to brew it for at least a good half an hour to really get that silica-rich, beautiful horsetail tea.
Could you dive
Um,
into silica just a little bit more? Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions what silica is. And so we want to just like make sure that people understand how the natural forms of silica really support the bone and other tissues.
Absolutely. So silica is just simply a mineral. If we have a look on our periodic chart back to our chemistry days, silica is just a simple but forgotten mineral. Now, it's like, I like to think about it like little bricks. It's like the bricks that contribute to structural strength and integrity and give our tissue the benefit of elasticity. So it's just a long forgotten and much neglected little mineral essential to the human body. Now, we naturally get silica in our diet through plants, what lends structural integrity to shape and integrity to any plant is silica. So you can get a diet rich in silica if you have a very, very good, healthy plant-based diet.
Thank you. I think that, is something that sometimes people get confused about. So that was really helpful.
Fantastic. So I want to talk about one of my other, herbs of immortality, the youth elixir. And this is a beautiful Ayurvedic herb called Gynostemma. And literally, in writings in herbal books and ancient texts, they do refer to this herb as the immortality plant. Gynostemma is one that I really love for women because it's an adaptogen for the adrenal glands at the same time as regulating blood glucose, regulation. So anytime we regulate blood glucose levels, we're reducing and regulating insulin. We're therefore reducing inflammatory load when we have perfect blood glucose regulation. And then on the other hand, this herb is really incredible as an adrenal adaptogen. And the healthier, the happier, and the less cortisol loaded our adrenals are, the better our structural integrity will be. Now, one of my other beautiful herbs that's common, it's actually a common weed, is the stinging nettle plant, which grows everywhere around the world. And of course is, reputed for the nasty stings that the raw leaf can give. But this plant, I think, is so abundant on the planet because it's so needed, to be honest, by all of us as a medicine.
Right.
And I think it stings us to make us aware that, hey, I'm here, please use me. So when the nettle leaves dry out, the stings deactivate and it turns from a weed into a powerful herb. And this is called the ancient mineralizer. So nettle leaves are abundant in minerals. I call it the multi-mineral of the botanical kingdom. So this is Mother Nature's, zinc copper balancer, Mother Nature's beautiful form of, zinc and magnesium and manganese and a broad multi-mineral natural tonic. And nettle leaves also is known as a skin-specific herb, and it's known as an incredible skin healer. So I always say to women, a pot of nettle tea every day is, again, one of Mother Nature's natural Botoxes, natural alternatives for incredible skin integrity. And also the reason that I recommend this herb, and I have this herb in my practice and I sell it in bags for herbal tea, is that it's also one of the best natural iron tonics as well. And iron is so important for promotion of microcirculation for our skin. So the skin's an extremity. We've got to remember that. So if you're low in iron or low in B12, we can't get beautiful oxygenation to this massive organ of the human body, which requires, beautiful abundant microcirculation in order to promote and produce collagen and repair damaged collagen.
Those are all very important, right, to think about as we age.
Absolutely. And one last one before we digress and talk about something else, but calendula, the beautiful marigold flowers, it's actually a botanical for the skin. I like to refer to this one as the radiant one. She's beautiful and golden and illuminous. And calendula is, when internally taken, again, excellent for healing of the skin, reducing inflammation of the skin. And this is a botanical that I use as an oil extract for topical use on the skin. So for, sunburn, eczema, dermatitis, insect bites, if you just put some calendula oil onto any skin wound, it promotes such incredible healing and anti-inflammatory effect. And it's so easy to make calendula oil. You just grow some beautiful calendulas in your garden, pick the heads, put them in a jar of olive oil and leave them in a warm place for a few weeks. And then you get this potent, exquisite, golden calendula oil to use liberally whenever needs be.
That sounds delightful. Too bad the weather in Wisconsin isn't ready to be growing anything at the moment, though.
That's right. We'll put it on the springtime, plant those calendula seeds.
I'm going to do that this year. So we've talked about ourselves and what we need. I have a teenage son, and with many teenagers, we see that acne becomes a concern. So what are some things that we can do to help those teenagers who are maybe going through, or even we do see adult acne too, but how can we help them to work on their skin when they have those acne outbreaks?
Oh, absolutely. And look, I see a lot of mums bring their kids in here for hormonally related acnes, because as a mother myself, and you too, Sarah, the medical options are pretty full on. Like, young girls just get prescribed the birth control pill to try and correct their skin. Of course, I don't do that for the boys. The other one is, the drug Accutane, or that high dose synthetic vitamin A, which, read the fine print on that drug, and they make young girls go on the birth control pill if they're taking the Accutane, because they know that there's birth defects associated with falling pregnant, even after 6 months of stopping Accutane. So these are pretty alarming, what I wouldn't call ideal solutions to teenage acne. And having a pharmacy background, I've always been really passionate about, making sure that whatever patients are on, and especially the younger the client that I see, that we build in margins of incredible safety for their long-term health and well-being with whatever we do. So birth control pill and Accutane are dangerous as far as I'm concerned. So here are some of my botanical tips. The very first herb I will go to time and time again for hormonal acne, whether it's a young boy, a young girl, a girl in her 30s, whenever that hormonal acne may come up. Interestingly, even perimenopausal women can get bursts of hormonal acne as well. But the master herb is called Chastery. Chastery is one of the best herbs to sort of balance that communication between the hypothalamus, pituitary, and the reproductive hormone-producing glands in the body, and can go a long way in reducing hormonal acne. So people often think, oh, Chastery, that's a woman's herb. Well, no, not always. It's always traditionally been used for boys with hormonal acne as well. So that's one tip there. One of the others that I really love is a beautiful tablet combination that contains one of my master herbs for acne, and that's Clivers. So Clivers, herbs like yellow dock, beautiful herbs like celery, these are all called lymphatic drainers. And we've got to really encourage beautiful lymphatic drainage, or toxic waste removal from the skin, because essentially acne is pustules is infection, and when we're not getting good lymphatic drainage for the skin, then things can get worse. So Clivers is my absolute favourite herb for encouraging lymphatic drainage. And believe it or not, Echinacea, it's a beautiful lymphatic drainage herb. It supports the immune system, so it's a perfect herb to choose for acne, no matter what the drivers are, actually, whether it's hormonal or whether it's poor microcirculation, echinacea is always a wise choice of herb. Likewise, let's get back to some of those teas I talked about, like nettle leaf tea, incredibly good for acne because it remineralizes the body, provides lots of zinc and lots of iron and lots of microcirculatory support. Now, one clinical tip I will share with you and everyone listening to our podcast today is Associate Professor Kerry Bone, who's been my mentor and teacher for over 25 years now, said to me a very long time ago, Angela, you need to consider acne as anemia of the skin. So again, like if you're anemic, whether that be iron or B12, we can't produce beautiful hemoglobin. Hemoglobin carries oxygen. Oxygen's required for microcirculation of the skin to bring vascularity and bring all that lymphatic and immunological response to that very area where it's needed. So always go back and check iron levels and make sure you're not missing a big part of the puzzle, which is anemia.
Interesting.
And of course, from a nutritional perspective, we need to make sure patients are on lots of zinc and beautiful whole food, fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and of course, vitamin C for structural collagen repair so we can avoid scarring associated with the breakouts. Everyone likes miracles and results within a week. It's not going to happen within a week. Cellular turnover of the skin generally takes up to 40 days. So we need to be patient, we need to be persistent, we need to be consistent.
And what do you think, would you also address, a lot of times if they have a breakout, there's inflammation. Would you address kind of the immune response or an inflammatory response also?
Oh, without a doubt. So, an Italian researcher coined the term inflammaging, which described how chronic and low-grade inflammation speeds up the rate of cellular aging. So this is, comes into play when we're talking about healthy skin for, graceful, beautiful aging process, but also for the teens with their inflammatory acne as well. Inflammation will break down collagen. So with teens, you're going to see slow wound healing if there's an inflammatory load going on. And the aging process, we're just going to see collagen breaking down and degrading. So more wrinkles, more fine lines associated with the inflammaging process. So from a whole food perspective, we want an abundance of Mother Nature's phytonutrients, phytochemicals that are antioxidants in all of our coloured vegetable family. We want lots of fermented foods. There's a lot of research around the anti-inflammatory and adaptogenic effect of, a lot of beautiful adaptogen herbs, but particularly research around rhodiola, withania, and eleutherococcus for decreasing the inflammatory signalling pathways associated with inflammation. So adaptogens are critically important for reducing inflammation. Some other herbs that have got great research around fighting inflammaging is the reishi mushroom, a Chinese herb called andrographis, which is an incredibly powerful, also natural antibiotic. Cat's claw, or unidegato, which is a South American plant, very powerful, broad spectrum anti-inflammatory botanical, wonderful for fighting inflammaging. Then we've got our classics. I think when anyone thinks inflammation, they're thinking turmeric, rosemary, and saffron. So when we come to botanical medicines, we're just spoiled for choice. There's so many herbs we can use that have not only traditional use, but a bucket load of research and evidence to help us reduce inflammation and the detriments of inflammaging in our body.
So we've talked about the inflammaging and the older person, and we've talked about the teens. Let's go a little bit younger. I mean, we're both moms, and so we probably have these times when, our little ones have had skin conditions, maybe a diaper rash or eczema. How do you treat kind of the younger child, the baby to that toddler, if they had a skin concern?
Oh, absolutely. And we have a little drop-in apothecary service here at our practice here in Perth in Western Australia. And one of the things that we see most in our apothecary is mums and bubs with eczema, diaper rash, teething, rash, etc. So one of the number one herbs that I will go for, first I'll go topical, so just some beautiful gentle herbs topically to soothe the irritation, promote healing and reduce inflammation. And we make some very gentle, beautiful creams here, which are so easy. If you've got a bowl and a spatula and a good cream base and some herbs, you can whip up a cream really quickly. So, give it a go. It's fantastic fun. So one of my favorite all-time creams for, eczema, dermatitis, diaper rash is Calendula Cream. Calendula we've talked about as being such a gentle herb, powerful antimicrobial, so it will stop all the secondary infection associated with the irritation. It's healing, so it promotes healing of the area and it reduces inflammation. So calendula is one of my absolute first go-tos. One of the other interesting herbs that we can use as an alternative to steroid creams, because obviously doctors generally would prescribe a steroid cream for eczema. If the diaper rash gets bad, they might prescribe steroid cream there too. Licorice is Mother Nature's natural steroid. So licorice can be combined with the calendula into a cream and applied as often as needs be without any side effects. But licorice has powerful soothing and anti-inflammatory effect topically. With little ones, we also want to work internally. So diet modification is the first thing that I'll look towards. And eczema particularly responds really well to just a low salicylate diet. Now, because little ones generally have a fairly high fruit diet, all the berry families, all the citrus families, so blueberries, strawberries, all the citrus fruits, and some varieties of apples are very, very high salicylate. And these are generally the foods that little babies and little ones like the most too.
Right.
So I always will give mums a list of foods that the low salicylate fruits and veggies that are the best ones to focus on for the children and just see how they respond. I'll tell you a giveaway sign of salicylate sensitivity. And you'll know it, Sarah, because no doubt you've seen it, if not with your children, but with, friends' children. When you see babies and they've just had, a lovely big fruit plate and then they get a red ring around their mouth.
Right.
That's salicylate sensitivity. So it's very easy to pick it. So low salicylate approaches for diet. And with the little ones, we need to boost their gut health, of course. Good immune function and good skin function starts with a healthy gut. So the way that I boost that is good quality probiotics, some zinc internally, and one of Mother Nature's very first sophisticated gut medicines, slippery elm. So slippery elm is such a powerful soother to the gut, prebiotic, and cannot be underestimated for its clinical power. It's such an incredible, beautiful plant that's also a lovely nutritive to the gut. And just to recap, there's some gentle skin herbs that we can make beautiful creams out of. Calendula as an anti-inflammatory, and licorice is like a topical natural steroid.
I think it's so interesting that you brought up, the gut, right? And so our immune system is mostly in the gut. And a lot of times we see if we're not protecting the gut, then these skin issues. And, that's just such a tie, I think, that many people don't always think about, how that all works together. Importance of the gut health as an immune protectant and how the skin and gut work together as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we are one living, walking, breathing, talking microbiome, essentially.
Right.
The gut has its microbiome, our bladder has a microbiome, our uterus has a microbiome, our skin has a microbiome, our mouth has a microbiome. It's just incredible. So we need to start thinking about the different terrains of microbiome in the body as being incredibly important organs of the human body. And what helps microbiomes flourish is prebiotics. So we've got to feed these beautiful little microbial helpers in our body. And the best way to feed them is diversity in the diet.
Mm-hmm.
And diversity is something that I give my patients that challenge. Is like, okay, I'm going to challenge you to see how diverse you can make your diet. So give people lists of all your fruits and all your vegetables and all your herbs and all your spices and all your legumes and all of your whole grains, and challenge them to try a couple of new things every week. And I love the big microbiome diversity challenge is try and eat 40 different foods each week. And that might just be last week you didn't include a butter bean, but this week you did.
Mm-hmm.
And that provides the microbiome with such, a smorgasbord of diversity so that the microbiome can flourish. And of course, to start to get the innate balance right, good quality probiotic and prebiotic medicines for a period of time will fast track anyone's results. And that is so true, especially for autoimmune skin conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I consider eczema to be almost an autoimmune skin condition, but psoriasis and seborrheic dermatitis and those type of conditions, really dealing with the gut health and microflora balance is a critical part of success to support their skin healing and to help reduce their future complications with those skin conditions.
Well, I think this has just been enlightening if we think about from the gut to the skin and from infants to the elderly. They all have very unique opportunities, but many of the same throughout the lifespan, right? We need to change things as we advance in age, but we still have to take care of those key individual things. Taking care of our gut doesn't go away, and that will improve our skin as we age, protect our skin as infants and beyond. So any last words that you want to share with our audience today?
Oh, I just think I'll give you my last words is just, a few whole foods and herbs that you can integrate into your diet every day for healthy, beautiful, radiant skin. This can be from babies right through to the very elderly and will go a long way in improving your skin from a whole food nutrition and botanical point of view. So that's include a teaspoon of turmeric spice into your diet every day. It's one of the most potent herbs that fight inflammation, and it's known as an NRF2 activator. Have an onion in your diet every day. A lovely, beautiful pan-fried onion in some organic butter is a very rich source of quercetin. Again, a very powerful anti-inflammatory and beautiful source for skin healing. Utilize our brassica vegetable family for its sulforaphane content. So every day, make sure you have something from the cruciferous vegetable family: cauliflower, asparagus, beautiful broccoli or broccolini, cabbage. These are all whole foods that are incredible for the skin. And last but not least, make sure you have a cup of green tea every day. Again, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory agent and is incredible for skin integrity. There's 4 simple things that you can do every day to support your skin.
That's amazing. I think I'm going to go have some green tea with maybe a little bit of onion and broccolini would be amazing about now. So
delicious. Thank you for having me on today, Sarah. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you, Sarah and Angela, for a fantastic discussion of the best medicinal herbs for healthy skin. For more on herbs and other aspects of health, go to WholisticMatters.com or search for Holistic Matters on social media. That's holistic with a W.